Okay, so welcome back to another video. It's Saturday afternoon, it's like 3:15. So I've been at my parents' house for a couple of hours now, but I decided rather than kind of going straight in the gym, I wanted to just kind of chill out for a little bit before I came in here. I've got some more programming and stuff to do when I finish, but I felt like if I just got here, worked, trained, it would be a bit much. Like I wanted to just kind of chill out and relax before I trained. It's nothing too heavy today. It is week 2, so it's still pretty light, pretty comfortable. I don't even know what I've actually got planned. I think my top set of squats is like 147 for 4 maybe. I think I've got a single on bench at like 100-ish, 105 maybe, probably 105. I don't know, I haven't looked yet. But anyway, it'll be light, it'll be comfortable, just about executing as well as I possibly can, just so I don't build up any unnecessary fatigue on these lighter weeks, ready for my heavier weeks. So yeah, not really got much to say. Just kind of been busy with work this morning, which is why I didn't get here until about 12:30ish, but or might have been 1, can't remember. I'm just kind of talking for the sake of talking. So yeah, now just gonna crack on. Bodyweight update, I'm finally in the 86s. So I'm sitting about 86.8, which I'm really happy with. That is a kilo down, about 1.5 kilos down to be fair, than I was about 7 or 8 days ago. That is quite a quick drop, but I had stalled for a while, so it was kind of expected, and it's kind of what the goal was. Essentially, I'm not gonna say the sooner I see an 85 the better, but if I can just get to low 86s over the next week and a half, 10 days, which I think should be pretty easily doable, then I'll be kind of at the right weight for the last week of the block, or the last 2 weeks of the block actually technically. Yeah, and then I'll just be sailing till comp. So yeah, basically everything's in a good spot, body weight's in a good spot. I haven't really noticed the calorie drop or anything. Still been trying to go on long walks and stuff. I didn't go for a walk yesterday, so my steps were kind of quite a lot lower yesterday, but I was just really tired and I felt like I needed an evening in to just kind of relax. By the time I'd finished all my work and everything for the day, because I had a consultation call yesterday as well, I don't think I actually stopped working until just gone 7. Then I had to make my video for which went up this morning technically, because I forgot to make it public. But yeah, my video that was supposed to be uploaded Friday at 5 didn't get uploaded until, or didn't get made until like 9 o'clock Friday, because I needed to meal prep and I needed to make my video. So basically it got to 9 o'clock and I was like, well, I could go for a walk, or I could just get in bed, watch some TV and just like switch off for the evening, have an early night. I think I was asleep just after 10, and I feel a lot better for it today actually. So sometimes you have to weigh out the pros and cons of forcing the extra movement in to help you achieve your goals versus actually resting, because funnily enough, if you don't get enough rest, you're also not going to lose the weight. Like you don't want to overdo it just for the sake of reaching a target weight or your weight class any sooner. Like you've got to be kind to yourself as well and listen to your body when you need the rest. So very glad I had that rest last night. And then today the plan is, because it's now 3:15, I will be training, and then my parents are probably going to be home around when I finish training, so I'll hang out with them for a bit. I've got a meal in the fridge here that I can just heat up and have when I finish. And then when I get home, I'll probably just go for a like evening stroll, like probably like 8ish to be fair, by the time I've spoken to them for a few hours and hung out here and built up the kind of energy to drive home. Yeah, I'm very good at procrastinating on a Saturday. I literally spend way too long here, but it's fine. So yeah, plan is train, eat, hang out with my parents for a bit, and then just go home and go for a really nice long walk. Try get a decent, I'll probably go for like an hour, hour and a half walk to be fair, so it won't be anything crazy, but it'll be long enough. I mentioned in last week's video that if I walk for too long at a time, my joints aren't very happy with it. And to be fair, my knee has been a little bit niggly recently, and I think it is just from the like forcing the extra steps and stuff. Like, there's nothing to worry about, it's not going to do any damage, it's just I've noticed a little bit more pain in my knee. So yeah, that is my update. I will also do some more Q&A bits in this video. One thing I will talk about, I'll probably talk in between each like lifting segment to be fair, just because it is light and I'll probably get through it really quickly. So I'll squat, talk to you guys, go through a couple of questions, bench, talk to you guys, go through a couple of questions, do my RDLs, and then we'll be done. I'm talking for the sake of talking. Yeah, one thing I want to talk about today is dropping weight and not losing strength, because it's something I've been asked about a lot. I actually had my consultation call yesterday, we actually kind of briefly talked about it. But yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people want more information on, and it's something I've been asked a few times now actually, about cutting weight without losing strength. Is it possible? How do you do it? That kind of thing. So I will briefly go into it in this video as well. I won't go crazy in depth because also I'm training, so just because it'll be too much. But yeah, gonna train now and get ready to squat.
I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me when. trying to keep it going to be continued, or am I trying to lose? Gonna keep moving now. I don't think I wanna leave at a tough week. Gotta realize this is what I need. Don't got the time to be counting sheep. It's too late, I'm in too deep. Don't wanna contemplate, overcomplicate this. And I made my choice, wanna see what's going on. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, I'll be there. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me when. Just tell me when. Ay, oh no, 머뭇거릴 시간 없어. 필수적인 this is my only answer. Yeah, my body keeps telling me go. Wanna be stacking towers from downtown. I'll be on a roll. 머릿속엔 it's a rush hour. This, that, overtime, champagne shower. Step back, skip lines, yeah, I'm never going cold. 어디 가야 해, 알려줘. Don't wanna contemplate, overcomplicate this. And I made my choice, wanna see what's going on. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie.
Okay, so excuse the state of me. Fitness squats, really happy with them. Not really much to say. Like, they are light, they are comfortable, they're supposed to feel good. My body is still definitely fatigued. I think, like I mentioned earlier, like my joints are just a bit stiff and stuff from walking a lot. And obviously I've got a lot of fatigue still built up from, well, it's pretty much gone, I think, but I had a lot of fatigue built up on the last week of the last block, and that was literally 2 weeks ago. So it's going to take time for, sorry, my hair's annoying me. It is going to take time for the fatigue to kind of come off. But I'm really happy. I did realise after I'd done them that I was doing my back offs a little bit heavier than I was supposed to. It was supposed to be 137, but I jumped 7.5 from last week thinking that was what I was supposed to be doing, and then I realised that's definitely not right. And I checked, because I always write my programme up, like, not that my programme in terms of like reps and stuff really changes. Like, I've got a 3-block cycle and I've just been like repeating it and rinsing it until it's not going to work anymore. But basically I was supposed to jump 5 on last week's and then take 7.5 jumps on my top sets so that my fatigue doesn't build up too quickly on the back offs. So I was supposed to do 137, but I did 140, but I mean, it was really easy and comfortable, so it doesn't really matter. Also realised it's kind of crazy that 140 on week 2 for back off 5s is that comfortable, because I remember before Manchester Open, which was my last comp back in August, I remember going to Powering 3, which is the gym in Essex I went to a few weeks ago, and doing my last SBD day on the week out at that gym, and my back offs were 5s at 135, and I remember being nervous for them. So the fact that I'm now doing 140 back off 5s, no nerves, no worry, body's under quite a bit of fatigue already anyway, like, they were really comfortable. So basically really happy. Just was a bit stupid and went heavier than planned, but it's fine. I'll just take 5 kilo jumps on my back offs from like week to week from here now. I can't remember what it's out from here on. So yeah, but that's squats. They're fine. Fatigue singles always feel heavy on my back. I say this every single week. They never feel fantastic on my back, but moved absolutely fine, as 162 should. I'd be very concerned if that wasn't moving quickly. So yeah, I'm happy. Something I was going to talk through in this video, I mentioned earlier, losing weight without losing strength. So generally speaking, a lot of powerlifters, I mean, the general consensus is mass moves mass. So if you want to keep getting strong in this sport, you need to just kind of progressively gain some weight as you go, eat in a slight surplus the entire time, and that's how you will progress. Like, if you stall, add some calories in, let yourself gain a bit of weight, and you will in turn get stronger and continue getting stronger. No one really talks too much on the opposite of, you know, cutting weight or like going into a calorie deficit. There's so many different reasons someone could want to lose weight. If someone's main reason for losing weight is literally just because they want to look better, then it comes down to, you have to be realistic on, is their body fat high enough to justify a cut, or are they already fairly lean, they just want to be leaner, which is completely understandable if people feel that way. Like, we have grown up in a society, especially as women, that tell us to be smaller, and to be fair, for men as well, like, they're told to be leaner. But basically, I just want to say, it's definitely possible to lose weight and get stronger. I personally did it myself. I was still fairly new to the sport, which makes it a little bit easier to do. But when I first started, I was an 84 kilo lifter. I sat about 82 kilos most of the time, but I wasn't really tracking my food very much. It was just where I sat and where I was kind of comfortable. Then I hired a nutrition coach, and because I was just tracking my food and I'd taken out a lot of things that, like even just condiments and stuff that had so many calories in that I didn't even kind of track or think about beforehand, I actually went down to 72, and I competed as a 72 kilo lifter for about a year or so, I think it was. That was when I then got injured, to be fair, because I think I was in a deficit for way too long. But I managed to cut from about 84 kilos, well, 82 to 84 kilos, down to 72 and maintain that and get a lot stronger in the process. I think I added like 60 kilos onto my total roughly in that time, and that was the space of, I literally cut that weight off, I think, in about 6 months at most. So it's doable, it's just not ideal. Tricks to help you lose weight and not lose strength is basically just go slow. Be realistic, allow for the odd refeed or a higher calorie day. Like if you're getting to the end of your block and you've been in a deficit or block, you've lost some weight, maybe if you're a heavy week of the block, just boost your calories up by like 200-ish just to give yourself a little bit of extra fuel. Or even if it's just like the last 2 days before that heavy session, if you do all your heavy lifts in one go, let yourself go into a slight, I don't want to call it a surplus because it's probably not even going to be much of a surplus. It's probably still going to be like maintenance, if not a slight deficit. Allow yourself to have like slight refeeds and things like that, and that will definitely help you to lose weight and maintain strength, if not gain strength. But you definitely have to be realistic. Like if you're already pretty lean, it's probably not very likely that you're going to be able to keep building strength and lose weight. You could potentially still do it. Like there's a lot of powerlifters at the moment, like with Sheffield, that are doing it. Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's just something where you have to be realistic about it and you have to take your time. You can't rush it. And you also have to decide why you're doing it. If you're doing it to be more competitive, then that's fine, as long as you're actually going to be competitive enough that it's worth it, because it's a lot of work, a lot of stress, and just a lot of time going into this. And if you're only doing it as a hobby and you've not really got the plan to be overly competitive, like if you're cutting for Sheffield, obviously that makes sense if you can do it, because there's a massive cash prize at the end and it's literally the best of the best competing. But if you're trying to cut weight categories purely for the sake of being slightly more competitive at a local level, it's probably not worth it. You're probably better off either just making more conscious decisions around your food and maintaining roughly where you're at, if not go into a slight surplus, and just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and building strength kind of as much as you possibly can. But yeah, it's one of those things you can definitely do. You just have to be sensible. I feel like I've kind of not given the best explanation there, but I will talk about it in more detail at some point, like in the future, but I just wanted to jump on and kind of talk about it a little bit in this video. Let me just have a look if there's any other quick questions I can answer, and then I will bench. Okay, so someone asked how to balance a busy schedule with training. It's obviously very dependent on your own life and your circumstances and what other responsibilities you kind of have. In my life, my only other responsibilities really are work. And I've worked as I've been in full-time employment since I left college when I was 18. And I've always forced time to train. Like I will prioritize training above anything else, anything social, anything like that. I prioritize training. I think the short answer is just you make it a priority. You kind of, I don't want to say treat it as a job because it's something that you should enjoy, but you fit it into your schedule as if it is work. You have set days that you train, if you can do that. I have some lifters that like they work in healthcare and stuff, so their shifts change all the time, they can't have set days, or they just make sure that they have 3 days a week that they train and they just juggle it, and they look at their shifts at the start of the week, they tell me what days they can train, and we work around what days they're going to be able to train kind of thing. We work around their shifts. But for the majority of people, like if you have a set schedule, like you work a 9 to 5 or you have set shifts every week, you just have to basically make it a non-negotiable. Like I know every Monday evening I'm doing my accessory day, every Wednesday evening or afternoon I am doing my SPD day, every Thursday is my accessory day, and every Saturday I have squat, bench and accessories. Like they're non-negotiables. I will never skip those because they are part of my routine, they are part of my regimented weekly layout. Like no more than going to work is, or like doing my work. Like it's all a non-negotiable for me. And I think something that's made it easier, that was a lot harder to deal with when I was younger, I will be honest. Especially before I found powerlifting, I was still very regimented about going to the gym. I used to go like 6-7 days a week, to be fair, which was definitely too much. But before I ever found powerlifting, so when I was like 16, 17, a general gym goer, especially 17, when I first passed my driving test, it was like I had to go to the gym pretty much every day. And people would try and make plans for me, I'd be like, well, I've got to go to the gym. And they wouldn't ever understand it. I'm really lucky that at this point in my life, everyone in my life understands that training is a priority. It's a non-negotiable. It is something that I will fit in. And if that means not seeing one of my friends, then that means not seeing one of my friends. And my friends never get mad at me for it either. It's the same as that thing of like, when I was younger and if I was cutting for a competition or something, or if I was just trying to be really dialed in with my nutrition, and then my friends would invite me out for meals or invite me over for pizza and stuff like that, it used to always make me feel really bad and really guilty because I felt like I was a really bad friend for saying no, because I had this thing coming up, this competition coming up, and to a lot of people it was like, well, it's just the gym, like it doesn't matter. And like I still have that sometimes with people, to be fair. I think my sister is probably the worst, but I think she also does it to wind me up. But yeah, it's basically making sure that the people around you understand that it's not more than just a hobby. Like it is still a hobby. Like for most people it's not a business thing. I think being a coach helps me show people that I don't need to do this to be able to coach, but obviously it helps you get your name out more if you're also a lifter as a coach. But I've got obviously ambitious goals, and I'm very open about my ambitious goals, especially with the people close to me, so they understand that training is a non-negotiable. So I have to fit it into my schedule, and if that means that I'm too busy with training and work to go and hang out with people, then that's just the way it is. And unfortunately that's like something that a lot of people had to I say a lot of people, I don't have that many friends, that's something that my circle have had to kind of accept. And people went like, I've got a lot of friends that kind of live all over the country, so then when they come home they let me know when they're home and we try and make plans, but sometimes it doesn't work. And to be fair, I think it's only really like my heavy weeks that I find I can't really make other plans because I want to give it everything. But the thing is as well, you have to know that training is supposed to be enjoyable and it's supposed to fit into your life. Like it shouldn't be your life, you have to have other things as well. That doesn't mean you shouldn't make it non-negotiable and a regimented part of your routine, but you also should make time for other things as well. So for example, on my lighter weeks, if someone invites me to do something on a Saturday afternoon, I will say yes, and I will just make sure that I get up and train earlier in the morning. The only time I won't necessarily make plans on my training days are when I've got like my end of block heavier sessions, because I want to just 100% be dialed in and focused on that. Sometimes other stuff comes up like family events and things, and you should want to go to those as well, but you just make it work. And you just train later if you have to, or you train earlier if you have to. Yeah, I think I've rambled a lot there, but that is kind of the answer to that question. I feel like I haven't probably given a very good answer there. Yeah, so basically, how do you balance training with a busy schedule? You just do. You just do. That's a really shitty answer, but you literally just have to. You just have to make it work. If you want to train, like I love training, as much as sometimes I do feel like I don't want to, or I'd rather not bother. I love it when I do it, and as soon as I start I'm fine and I'm happy and I enjoy it, and it's like I'd kind of be a bit lost without it, I think. And yeah, I'm never gonna see it as a choice. I'm always gonna just fit it in and get it done. If you want to do it enough, you will make time for it, even if you're really busy. It's like I've worked shifts, I've worked all different types of jobs while doing this. You just make it fit. And yeah, and I know there's obviously people that have had harder schedules than mine through my time of training, but I've had a lot of different jobs. I say a lot, I've just worked a lot of different shifts and stuff since I started lifting or competing back in like 2018. And yeah, you just make it work. You just find a way. If you want to do it enough, you'll make it work. Same with anything in life. Like if you want something, you'll work for it.
I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me where. Just tell me where. Once I get the ID, taxi tossing, I got Hopsy. On my way, my ETA is ASAP. No way I'ma miss this. Pool party, time to get lit. About to go down, much money, go try to. Where we tryna go? Choose up on it.
Okay, so bench is done. It was fine. My positioning didn't feel great, and if you look closely at the video, you can see that as the bar's coming down to my chest is like collapsing a little bit. Essentially, my positioning just didn't quite feel right, and this does happen occasionally. I kind of go through phases where I have a couple of weeks like this, and then I'm fine for ages, and then it happens again. I think partly it also could be because it's very cold in here. Like, it's lovely and sunny outside today, but it's like 8 degrees. And by the time I'd like got onto my top set of bench, my body was just cold. Obviously squats warmed it up, but then yeah, it was just cold. So yeah, positioning didn't feel great. I felt like my chest was kind of collapsing for every rep, which is very annoying. But considering that, 105, very speedy, very comfortable, no issues. I mean, there shouldn't have been anyway, but still, with like terrible positioning, 105 is still a piece of piss now, so that's great. And then 4s at 100, also positioning felt terrible, moved absolutely fine. So it is what it is. Just kind of accepting it and moving on. Nothing to really say, nothing to be upset about. I didn't fail anything. Everything moved pretty comfortably still. It just didn't feel as smooth as I wanted it to, but it's just the game with bench. Like, it is what it is. I also felt like my shoes were slipping a little bit. I think I might get a brand new pair just specifically for comp, to be honest. Like, they've got quite good grip at the bottom. Like, they are like water shoes. They're like wet. I don't know if they're called water shoes or wet shoes. But yeah, they've got really good grip on the bottom. But I feel like the more you obviously use something, the worse the grip's going to get. Also, I think this mat is kind of terrible that I put my feet on now. So yeah, rambling. Anyway, bench was fine. Nothing to really say. Got RDLs left to do. Just gonna have a little look. Actually not got that many questions left, to be fair. I thought I had more than this. To be fair, someone did just ask if I'm a full-time coach. That's a very easy one to answer. So no, I am not actually a full-time coach. My goal is to become a full-time coach, or at least near enough a full-time coach. I would like that to be my main source of income, which, to be fair, I'm not actually too far off at this point. At the moment, I'm not selective of who I take on, but I don't ever advertise. Like, the most advertising I do is literally putting my website link at the end of these videos. I will have a full-time job. I'm in the process of buying a house. So essentially I work in like an office admin type job in insurance, but I work for a really great company. So plan is kind of like, our mortgage and stuff has been accepted, so that's all sorted. But once we've moved in, I'm going to upgrade my office setup, because at the moment I'm just working off my Mac, and it's just like my little Mac laptop. It's not very big screen. Like, I want to be able to do more. I want to be able to offer more. Basically got a bit of a plan in the pipelines to expand, and the goal is going to be, once we've moved, to basically expand to make it my my obvious main source of income. But I'm also really lucky with the actual full-time job I've got as well. It's only 35 hours a week, so I'm like, I work a lot of hours in a week, but it's doable. Like, if I had a 45 hour week at work and then had to do coaching on the side, I think I'd struggle a lot more. But yeah, so basically the reason I don't massively advertise is, obviously at the moment, I will be shortly, is just because I don't want to take on too much too soon. Like, I don't think any of my lifters can tell, or my nutrition clients can tell, that I have a full-time job, and I want to keep it that way. Like, if my lifters and clients can, I say lifters, if any of my clients can tell that coaching isn't my full-time job, in my eyes, I'm failing as a coach. Like, I want them to know that they are my main responsibility, they are my main port of call. And yeah, I want to be the best coach possible for them, which is why I very gradually take people on. Like, I won't ever really take on more than one person every like 3 or 4 weeks at most. And I won't take on someone else basically until my new clients are settled. So if I'm taking on a complete beginner, then it'll probably be 6 weeks before I take on someone else. So I want to get them settled in their routine, in their program, things kind of like, I want to get to the point where they're kind of, I can't think of my words, basically just in the flow of things. Like, I want people to get in the flow of things before I ever take on someone else. So I want them to know that, obviously I give all of my lifters, no matter how long they've been with me, the same amount of time and attention, but anyone that coaches knows that, you know, when someone first comes to you, they have to kind of learn how you work, how like you structure things and stuff like that. So lots of ramble. Basically, no, I'm not a full-time coach, but that is kind of the goal. I think by the end of the year, I've set myself the goal of it being like my main source of income. Yeah, so that is kind of my life. So that's why everything is always very hectic. That's why Wednesdays now I train earlier, because I now do a half day on a Wednesday, and then slightly longer days the rest of the week, so that I can fit in training, but also more time to take inquiry calls and stuff, because at the moment, all of my inquiry calls have to be like the evening here, and it's just easier for me to be able to do them a little bit earlier in the day and stuff like that, and it fits in with other people's schedule. Like, I want to be as available to my clients as possible, and like when I've got people competing, like I've got a lot of people competing at the moment over the next like month or so, I want to make sure that I've got enough free time to fit in calls with them and make sure they're comfortable, make sure they know what they're doing, and just stuff like that. So yeah, lots of ramble. So lots of ramble, but bench was really good. Bench was easy, just positioning didn't feel great, so I guess it wasn't really good, that was a lie. But yeah, now I'm gonna get my RDLs done. I won't film them, they're not that interesting, but I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I haven't got many questions left, to be fair, so I need to put up another Q&A box on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on there, please go and follow me on there. It is literally just my name, Charlotte Arterton, but if not, leave comments down below in the leave a question down below in the comments. I can't talk. Yeah, leave some questions down below in the comments if you've got any for me, if you want to know anything. Yeah, leave them down below. If you have any questions about my coaching or anything as well, like, it doesn't have to just be specifically training. It can be nutrition, it can be coaching, it can be general life. I mean, I'm not going to go too much into my personal life, but you know, whatever you guys want to know, leave comments down below with the questions in, and I will get back to you or answer them in videos. So I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on Friday for the next one.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I got it. I'll be there